All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about Terence Crawford inadvertently confirming the holdup with the Errol Spence Jr. fight is on him, came out of his mouth, and it is what it is. It is what it is. Let's go over that in this video. This video is brought to you by Boxing Showtimes, a new professional boxing schedule in your pocket. It helps you to keep updated on boxing events and details. Also assists you when you want to find bars near you to watch fights and allows you to set reminders for upcoming fights. Download the Boxing Showtimes for your smartphone and your tablet. Thank you again to our newest sponsors, Boxing Showtimes. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. We are in the 147-pound division, talking about the hottest topic in boxing once again, the Errol Spence Jr. Terence Crawford fight for undisputed that hopefully we will be getting by the end of this year, and hopefully will be announced within the next couple weeks if they come to a conclusion with this negotiation that has been taking place for a while. However, in this video, we're going to talk about Terence Crawford inadvertently confirming a lot of rumors that have been going around about the negotiation, and he can say that people are making it up, do whatever he wants, came out of his mouth, and once he said what he said, it opened it up, and you know what was going on. You know what is going on in that negotiation to a certain degree. Now, before I get into that, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. If you're new to the channel, let me extend an invitation to you to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you can be notified of when we release more videos. All right, so we're going to get into this, and this is going to be what you call a rub it in your face type of conversation we're going to have. We don't always do this, but every once in a while, when people are in the comment section saying certain things, and people are on other videos saying certain things, when it's time to tell you, I told you so, hey man, we'll tell you I told you so. And this is confirmed from Terence Crawford's mouth. So Errol Spence and Terence Crawford are in negotiations for a fight with each other this year for the undisputed 147-pound championship. The WBA, the IBF, the WBO, and the WBA all on the line. Both parties say that they want to fight. They want to fight, and they want to do the fight. However, now that we have literally heard something from everybody involved in the fight about the negotiation, we know at the very least, at the high level, what's going on, what's the hindrance, and where we're at. So what is it? Terence Crawford was interviewed, and the interview just came out on Fight Hype. Shout out to Fight Hype, who does excellent work. The interview came out on Fight Hype, and Terence Crawford was asked about the Errol Spence Jr. fight. First, he was asked about the Hall of Fame and what he thought about the Hall of Fame. What was his favorite speech? He said Roy Jones, and then he snapped at the person interviewing him, said, "Hey man, you said you were going to ask me one question. Now you're here asking me four." And it's all my kid. My bad. I'm just kidding. What question you want to ask? And of course he says, "Do you have any update on the Errol Spence Jr. fight?" What he said was telling, because it contradicts what he said to Bernie the boxer, and what Bernie the boxer let everybody else know. And here it is. He said, "There's no update. We're still talking, trying to figure it out. Hopefully we'll have an announcement soon." That's what he said out of his mouth. He said, "No updates. We're still trying to figure it out. And hopefully there'll be an announcement soon." Now, you may say, Fanon, why does that prove what people have been saying? Because when you put that together with what Errol Spence Jr. has said, what Derek James has said, and what Steven Espinoza has said about the negotiations, it tells you that maybe not the dollar amount, but the things that people have been saying about that negotiation are more true than not. And let me explain. Bernie the Boxer came out and said on his channel maybe 2 weeks ago, no, it wasn't 2 weeks, it was a week ago, that he talked to Bud and he said, Bud told him that there was no talk about money, right? I'm paraphrasing that, that there hasn't been any talk. There hasn't really been anything going on at all with that negotiation. Right. So people have been out in videos talking in the corner talking in different chats about how Terence Crawford, they have not sent a contract or have not talked to Terence Crawford based off that. Right. So when Terence Crawford says we are still trying to figure it out, hopefully there'll be an announcement soon. What does it mean when you say we're trying to figure it out? If they've not contacted you, who is the we here? So clearly he is saying that he is having discussions with Errol Spence Jr.'s team and they are still trying to figure it out. So what has Terence Crawford's team said about it? Errol Spence Jr.'s team said about it. Errol said that the conversations have begun. That's what Errol said. And he said that if this fight does not take place, it's not me. Do not blame it on me if it doesn't take place. Which means what? That they're in conversations and that he has agreed to what they're trying to do and that the other side is the one bringing up issues about the fight. Right? Obviously. Also, what did Derek James say about the negotiations in the fight? Derek James said and he said this weeks ago, that they're just waiting for Terence Crawford to accept the deal. That's what he said. He said that on an interview. I do believe the fight, I do believe it was after the Jermell Charlo fight in one of the interviews that he gave in a hallway, leaving. It's either Fight Hype or Fight Hub. Can't remember which one it was, but it's on that the interview is actually on several other channels where Derek James said that Errol's already agreed to the fight. They're just waiting on Terence Crawford. Said that a while ago. Who else said something about the fight? Steven Espinoza. And what specifically did Steven Espinoza say? Steven Espinoza said, yes, that the conversations had begun, but people want, is it a big fight? Yes. Is it a Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Manny Pacquiao fight? No. Are we going to be paying Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. money for that fight? Steven Espinoza says no. So you have Bud's team Bud out of his mouth saying that they're in discussions and they're trying to figure it out. You have Errol Spence Jr. saying that they are in talks and that if the fight isn't happening, it's not our side. You have Errol Spence Jr.'s coach, Derek James, saying that Errol already agreed on the deal. They were waiting for Bud. And you have Steven Espinoza saying that the conversations have begun and the only hangup they have is money. Now, what does that mean? It means that the negotiations are on because everybody said it, and they're still trying to figure out something, right? Because that's what Bud said, that's what Errol said, that's what Steven Espinoza said, but who is providing the information on what they're trying to figure out? What they're trying to figure out, according to Steven Espinoza, is the money. It's not the location because Errol Spence Jr. said he didn't care where he fought. He said he could fight in Dallas, he could fight in Las Vegas. He didn't care. Also, word came out, now this is still in the unverified lane, that Errol agreed to 55-45 and that split is good. So what could they be waiting on? Trying to figure out the guarantee and what the guaranteed pay is going to be. Because Steven Espinoza is the one that said, we are not paying Floyd Mayweather Jr. type of money. The numbers that were out there were the $20 million. And that is Floyd Mayweather Jr. type of money. What type of guarantees has Showtime been doing for these guys? Nowhere near that unless you're Canelo Alvarez. Errol's not getting $20 million guarantees. Gervonta's not getting $20 million guarantees. And Steven Espinoza and those guys are not paying $20 million guarantees. So inadvertently, despite what people are saying, Terence Crawford, by saying that they're in conversations, and no, there's no updates. We're still trying to figure it out. Hopefully it will be announced soon, verifies what the problem is when you compare it, when you take what everybody says and put it in context. The issue is more than likely figuring out the money, or the guaranteed money, most specifically, the guaranteed money for Terence Crawford in that fight. Because Terence Crawford is used to getting $6-8 million guaranteed for his fight. And what Tim Smith from the PBC said months ago is that they did not even want to make an offer to Terence Crawford because it would be an insult. They're not going to be making that big guaranteed offer. That's what Tim Smith of the PBC said months ago. So it is what it is, and people can run around talking about how people are making up stuff and not making up stuff if they want. However, Bud didn't make it up when he said that and let the cat out the bag about what the issue is. Anyway, it is what it is. That's my take on the scenario. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.